Y'all, this is Chancellor T. I am in the Christmas spirit. I am in the season of giving. I finally got my heart around to go actually get some shopping done today. And I was looking around online. I don't know if it's too late, but it's gonna be joyous this year. And God's been good all year long, and He's been good to be able to afford us the time to give to the ones we love that are closest to us and near us, and maybe hopefully we can do something kind for somebody that we don't know, give to a certain charity, or make it personal, go to that stranger, get all the idioms out of the way, all of the things that come against our good hearted spirits. Sometimes, I wish every day people acted like the Christmas season, where their hearts was open and joyous, and it was not just in the receiving spirit, but the giving spirit, where they can actually love people and do kind to one another and love each other and tear down color lines and prejudice lines and foolish lines and evil lines. Even the most evilest of persons got somebody that loves them. That they even have moments of goodness. So God's still, being their creator, has put something good in them. I'm sure even those that have murdered folks even smile every now and then, and that is just testimony to the goodness of God. But of course we know it's about really I ain't gonna even say this is about Jesus Christ. I know that sounds crazy, but I will give credit that thank God there be a moment in time where we might think about Him give Him some sort of holiday and accreditation. But even though this ain't His birthday, this ain't the day, the devil got it all flipped around. I hate to be the one to bear bad news, and I ain't trying to be a ball humbug, but I'm just keeping it real. You got to know the enemy, you got to know what he did. But I'm sure God is no matter what day it is, He receives the glory that people give Him, and so I'm sorry, Lord, your very special birthday is pushed off. I hear the Holy Spirit saying to me right now, saying, really ain't about a day. It's about what I did. So there you go. Yeah, it's more. The birth of Christ is good. The death of Christ is better for us. You know what I'm saying? It probably is best for Him too. That's where He gets His most glory, because He completed the assignment that God sent Him here to do. And He did. It was not an easy task. He redeemed you. He has redeemed me. Well, if you take the gift, He redeemed me. That's the most. So yeah, the Holy Spirit it ain't about the day or His birthday. It's more about my I ain't even call it Easter either. It's just resurrection. So I had a weird dream last night. Normally I don't know if I should share this about, but I hear the Holy Spirit wanted me to share it with you guys today. Oh, this dream. Well, I ended up at one of my older churches, one of my foundation churches. I was in this church, and it was like a wedding ceremony. It was our wedding ceremony. It was just like thrown impromptu, and we had certain people. It was like the church was in a division. It was divided, right? And the first half of the church was like the leaders and those that were close to the pulpit, the leadership in this church, right? And they all was sitting down in their garments of glory, talking about their nice church attire and their adornments, and they're all sitting in these pews, row by row. And then the other half of the church was people that were more closer to us, I guess, people that were what you would call churched individuals. They were just happy to be there. And my wife went up in the ceremony to do the dollar dance. We was like orchestrating our own wedding ceremony. And my wife went up there to do the dollar dance to receive money. People, it's time, you give money. People pay money to her or whatever. Everybody went up there, little kid went up there, little kids went up there. I was looking for money to give to the little babies around me to go and dance with her and stuff so she can feel special at a certain time. So what was she in this dream? She was my bride. Okay, my bride. And when I was looking, I was like, man, are they going row by row, or is people just randomly going up there? Because a lot of people in the front didn't get up to bless the marriage, bless the ceremony, and bless the event. It was kind of heartbreaking to see. They were sitting on their hands, and then somebody came back to me. And the ministers, the head, the mother of the church, or the pastor's wife, we call her the first lady of the church, said in her heart, she sat there. I was watching her specifically. She sat there and didn't get up. I was like, oh, that's crazy. And they came to me and said, somebody came to me and said, she said, I won't bless your marriage not because of her, but because of you. Which would be me, in this vision. I would be the person, the bride, the groom, Which I was like, okay, nobody asked you to do nothing anyways, you ain't hurting me now. But as I woke up, the Lord began to minister to me, and it was like telling me about these things that were going on. He said, do you see how they behaving? And it hurts. He said, open up your heart and tell me how you really feel. Because this is some reality, that I have observed and have experienced. But he was telling me, like, they don't bless your ministry, don't show you no support. And these people I sent you there and you served them wholeheartedly. You didn't go there with a spirit of you better than nobody or trying to show out or do anything. And these people rejected you. And they called themselves my church. And I didn't even want to talk about that at all, with him. I got over that issue. It really didn't bother me that much because I've been through enough rejection in my life. But, I had to tell him. I said, yeah, it hurt it, what I'm saying. I still, every now and then, the devil try to use it or whatever. But, he said, you are strong not because that they support you, but that I have upheld you, that I uphold you, and I keep you strong, and I have made you to stand on your own. And I sent you there so they might know that I am the Lord. And yesterday, while I was walking, he said he was going to bring chastisement, not against just those specific people, but just against his body. And it ain't so much the specifics of it, the people, it's the spirit of the event. That God is testing his church to see. Oh, I skipped a part. He brought it to my memory. After the wedding, right? After everybody was leaving out, he said so they were sitting down, right? Everybody's sitting down. So after our little mini ceremony, we was all leaving out, on our own. We was making it on our own. We didn't have the full support of the body of Christ. That there's people that said they were the body of Christ. And we was leaving out. They all got up and they started setting the table, and they brought bringing out their best, right, for this conference they was about to have. And they put these white tablecloths down, and they brought all these fine dishes and foods. And I said, dang, where was that all day when we was having our ceremony? Where was all that, right? Where was all that, right? We had to come up with our own stuff, bro. We had crackers, what I'm saying? Where was all that stuff? And that's symbolic of what God is saying to the church right now. Like, you're so busy in your ceremonies You're so busy in your conferences that you're neglecting to do. It ain't about the event. I ain't saying you don't love people, but you just love those that seem to look like you and act like you and talk like you and walk like you. What about these poor folks out here? His body is supposed to be loving the downtrodden. That's who Jesus came for, not just them, but everybody. Not to be selective in your doing. And this ain't just for one specific church, it's for all of us as individuals. We have to get past this foolishness. We don't want to do the hard work. We don't want to be like the machine gun preacher and take our lives apart and go to Africa and subject our lives to somebody that ain't got nothing to do with us. They don't fit our mold. We want to stay comfortable. We want to put all our best for our agendas or what's that thing called? Itineraries. Okay? That's what we want to do, we're doing. And I think that's what the Lord is saying to us. But somebody that rub us the wrong way, don't fit us, don't do what's necessary to fit in, don't say the most politically correct thing or church correct thing, he's showing us the state the state of his body, so-called body. And I'm not one to try to sit there and judge the body. I'm very careful about that. But it ain't that I cause harm to folks, but the hope folks will cause harm to you and their actions and the way they act. And I didn't even really want to talk about this, but I don't want to be in judgment over the body, because that's not my place. I love even those that neglect and reject me, and I'm not fully bothered by it. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not fully bothered by that, because I know you ain't mine anyway. You ain't my people. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. I don't want to be around folks like that. I'm sorry. I'm happy to stay away. But let's just be honest. God is using real-time life examples. He's sending folks into the church to see what you might do, to see what we might do. If I ever house my own church, to not let the ministers and the leaders of the church, to not let the people mold you into the person you don't want to become. Say your heart is open, you want to do this, but the people around you don't want to do it. As leaders in the church, right? As leaders, we have to be willing to raise the people up in the way God wants them to be raised, and mold them in the way God wants to have them molded, to be open and acceptable. And if they don't like that, that means you got to actually get to know the Spirit of God and what Jesus is talking about, choosing the last seat, and don't be doing stuff for return. You know, when somebody bless you, you're doing it back just to be blessed. Time here. Okay, so that's not his way. Not that it's too late for you or anything. I'm one to sit in judgment. I'm just I'm just relaying what God gave me. Okay, and He raised me up in humble settings so that I might know. I don't take no glory for who I am, and how I respond to certain things. He made me. He probably made my spirit to be like this before I was even brought to this earth, and created me in such a fashion to respond according to His heart. I'm not better than anyone, but He designed it. He gets the glory for that. And I'm not saying I'm perfect and I don't have moments. That is not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying this is what His word He laid out for everybody to know about Himself. How He's a loving. He ain't surface looking, and he able to overcome. Even if a person have leprosy, Jesus touched a man with leprosy, did he not? Will we touch the person with leprosy? I probably would not. I'm gonna be honest. Unless God empowered me and I was close to God to the point to where I could touch the man with leprosy and not be afraid, and heal the man with leprosy and love the person with leprosy. People are hurting. People need us. All kind of walk of life. And I'm sorry. He didn't call the pompous. He called the humble. And more folks that are being kicked down in society are not going to aren't going to be pompous people. So the pompous get in. You let the pompous get in. They got the wealth and the cute, they got the fine jewelry and the degrees and things like this. And you let them come in. You let them take over God's house and treat people according in a certain kind of way, and get up in little cliques and treat them all messed up. You can't let them come in there in the Lord house and do that. Not my Father's house, and do that. And if you doing it with them, shame on you. Shame on you. You setting yourself up for correction and judgment. Because God ain't gonna sit by too long and let his house be turning folks away and treating people in a certain kind of way because they don't look like you. That's a lie. You cannot let, just because they got degrees. And ain't nothing wrong with folks having degrees and doing well in life. You can't let them folks come in there and click up and overrun. They need the heart of God in their spirit. They want to be treated. They can't get, the world ain't treating them the most best way and giving them what they worked so hard to receive, and which is attention and adornment. So they come in God's house and they want it in his house because it's easier to get it there amongst folks. And why is it so easy to get there? We need to ask ourselves these things. We cannot be sitting around portraying this lie. And ain't nothing wrong with folks having degrees. And there's plenty of folks that's got degrees that's got very beautiful and humble hearts. And I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the ones that don't. And I'm talking about the men and women of God that have made it easier and allowed that to take place in God's house. Can a poor homeless person come in your house and be treated with love and overwhelming love? Or is it fake, temporary, and minute?